Well, sports betting is now legal for those with the proper licenses in Washington. That means that certain casinos you can now bet on teams like the Mariners or the Seahawks.
So KREM 2's Ian Smay recently got an exclusive look at Northern Quest's sportsbook that is set to open now in just a few weeks.
Normally when you come out to Northern Quest is to catch a show or play your favorite slot or table game. But starting next month, you'll also be able to place a bet on most of your favorite sports teams.
If you've been to Northern Quest recently, you may have noticed some construction among the slot machines. And now, they're showing what's behind the wall.
Welcome to the Turf Club Sportsbook.
With Washington legalizing sports betting for licensed businesses, the casino is opening a sportsbook in October.
Yeah, so timing's going to be great. We're right in the heart of the sports season, and we're looking forward to getting through the holiday season and lots of college basketball action, and it'll lead up to March Madness in the spring.
The sportsbook at Northern Quest has been years in the making.
And how long was the planning for the sportsbook?
Well, we've been planning for quite a while, so we've been working on the legislation since 2019. And I'd say over the last year we've been planning strong, going through the concept and design and build-out phases.
When you walk in, you'll be greeted by a number of seats and screens.
So the screens outside are accompanied by several screens inside. We'll have seating, stadium-style seating for players to come in and or guests to come in and watch their favorite players and their favorite games.
You can also play some virtual slots or grab a drink at the sports bar while you're watching how your teams are doing on the big screen.
So this is where the stadium seats are going to be facing this screen?
Correct, yeah. We'll have approximately 10 to 15 stadium seats for the events of the day facing this big screen.
While Northern Quest may be 1,000 miles away from the famous sports books of Las Vegas, it will still have that classic sports betting feel.
When you think of Vegas, you think sportsbook and you think the giant screens, all the lines of all the games going on. Are we going to see that here?
Yeah, absolutely will. You'll see a version of that right here behind our retail space where you can walk up and place a bet. That giant LED screen behind you, behind the counter there, is where you'll see all your lines and all your odds to place your wagers.
All right, so this is the counter. How many attendants are going to be working?
So you have about 4 to 5 sports betting attendants, depending on the day and the activity for the day.
And then that's another big thing are these screens behind. Explain how those are going to work.
So these screens are super cool. So you'll mostly see the betting lines and the odds on these screens, but they're dynamic and they can be set up in several different configurations. So you could see all betting lines one day, you could see a different configuration with certain games playing, or a mixture of both. But they're very, very cool, and the technology is state of the art.
But don't worry if you realize you want to make a bet while doing something else at Northern Quest. Zeneshek says there will be kiosks set up around the casino to place bets. Also, they're working on a mobile app that would allow people to place bets on their phones while they're at Northern Quest. But no matter where you're betting from, there is one group of teams you won't be allowed to place wagers on.
Yeah, no amateur level and no in-state college teams.
So if I couldn't bet on the Cougs or the Zags?
Unfortunately, you can't place a wager on the Zags, but...
And then when it comes to you said amateur level, so that means I could also, there's going to be no betting on the Spokane Indians or the Spokane
Correct,
Chiefs.
minor level leagues and things like that.
Ian Smay, KREM 2 News.